the reason that people around the world were paying attention to this election was because the nationalist, anti-immigration, social Sweden Democrats, in fact, were gaining support. Where are we right now?
Well, it looks like the Sweden Democrats gained quite a bit of votes, but it's really a tale of two things this election. One is what happened and one is what was expected. And they fell far short of some of the expectations for the Sweden Democrats ahead of the vote. They're polling right now we have still some votes left to count. It's very late in Stockholm, but they fell way short of the 20 to 25% that some thought they would get. And there was even speculation before the election that they would emerge as the biggest party in Sweden. And in fact, it looks like right now they'll only be the third biggest. So they gained quite a lot from the last election, and they are now a force to be reckoned with in Swedish politics. But it's by far, I think many here in Sweden would say that they dodged some serious difficulties in how to deal with this sort of insurgent nationalist force.
We know that the Sweden Democrats wanted to oust the Prime Minister. We're now hearing from the Swedish Alliance as well that they will vote against Löfven as Prime Minister. What will happen to the Prime Minister depending on the outcome?
Yeah, it's well, the Prime Minister just himself, he came out not only a few minutes ago and said that he would not step down as Prime Minister. So what we're looking at now is about 2 weeks of wheeling and dealing basically between the different factions. We have a big chunk of votes coming in on Wednesday, which could further alter the situation. And in about 2 weeks, Parliament will reconvene, at which point there will be a confidence vote in the Prime Minister. And all the alliance parties, as well as the Sweden Democrats, have said that they would vote to oust the Prime Minister. So that's sort of what we're looking forward to now. However, there will be negotiations between now and then, so a lot could happen, given that the situation is completely deadlocked between the two blocs.
Jonas, is this seen as just anti-immigration, or is it kind of anti-establishment?
I think you could say it's both, really. I think that the voters who are most drawn to the Sweden Democrats were very anti-establishment. And it's not only anti-immigration that's drawn voters to the Sweden Democrats, but analysis also showed that a lot of the people who voted for them were affected by the financial crisis and the rather slow economic recovery we've seen even in Sweden over the past decade. And we've also seen some increase in inequality in Sweden, which has driven voters to the Sweden Democrats and also to the left party, the former communists, which also gained quite a bit in this election. However, they also fell short of pre-election polls.
Jonas, where does this leave the currency, the economy? Other than getting some certainty, is there a more desirable pro-business result that we could be looking at?
I think the currency, might rally a bit on relief. It's hard to say right now. Trading is thin. We'll see more tomorrow how the currency reacts. It's fallen quite a bit in the upturn in the run up to the election because of concerns over Sweden Democrats. The economy is strong, but it's slowing down. If this becomes a protracted situation, a lot of the reforms that Sweden needs to do, look at the housing market, make sure all the immigrants, get into the labor market. If policies to do that quicker aren't enacted, then Sweden will be worse off in terms of handling an economic slowdown after a long boom. Given that, and also the Swedish central bank is poised to raise rates for the first time in 7 years later this year. So the next government will have to deal with that as well.